Gabriel, welcome back. One of the things I've been communicating to you is the sense that your communication, you're immediately interfering. And that's one of the aspects of this communication that is important for you to straighten out, to figure out for yourself the degree to which you allow the words to come through, and the degree to which you enter into the conversation yourself. And ultimately, that is the goal. But it'll take some time for you to develop the facility to allow for this process to go unhindered, to let it be an open means of expression on both sides, on all sides, for both is simply a dualism which isn't accurate in this particular moment. And what we are communicating to you is that you are now ready to return to that open communicative state that you had spent quite some time in the early stages of this development in your channeling capacities. There were many reasons why you ended up going in different directions after 2015, let's say. One of which was dealing with physical incapacities, knee surgery, moving into town, getting engaged with more practical academic activities that required your attention at the time. The stroke you had in 2017, which you rightly refer to as a stroke of luck. The preparation after the healing process of getting back into the classroom, developing the technologies necessary for that, then the recognition that you were not in a position to do that. This was, in fact, a blessing. This was a gift. You have often also referred to the stroke as a stroke of luck, a stroke of genius, and chance putting its finger down and saying, here is a new path for you. Here is a new opening. And you and Anna, Kiri, made your preparations along with August to move to Finland and to open up a new chapter in your life. And that chapter has been unfolding. It has also been complicated by physical hardships. Nothing extremely dramatic, but enough to interfere with your usual regimen of yoga, breathing, meditation. The political instabilities of the planet that have captured your attention, rightly so. But in any case, you are now in a position to return to this channeling activity. And as you see from your preparation for this moment this morning, the yoga and stretching the preparation of the body, the physical vehicle that you have chosen in this journey, is a key element in the opening up to what it means to participate in the larger expression of the cosmos. For your body itself is a communicative vehicle, and it allows for the fluid exchange of energies. Remember, the chakra system, as it is understood, is a bodily set of circles, wheels, cycles, energy transports, portals to various levels of being that the body itself makes possible for human consciousness and human energetic expansion. The breath, the preparation of the breath through your pranayama exercises that you were taught in your initiation into the dragon heart consciousness, and your instruction by the Q spirits in Finland have prepared a way for you to stimulate those chakra systems in such a way that you best facilitate the openness for this kind of communicative relationship, this openness to that which passes through your energetic bodily system, keeping in mind the theosophic notions of the multiple levels of body. Relax. There are no demands on you. There are no demands for continuity and coherence lying over you as a responsibility. Just open yourself up for this. Many questions arose for you after yesterday's session. And again, another issue that you have been dealing with since you returned to the Kachina channels in the last few months as part of your soul channel. Don't worry. You can edit this afterwards for the kind of coherence and continuity that you have been trained to seek, if at the end of this you feel that is necessary. One of your fears has been the possibility of interference of inner selves and outer selves in the communication process. There were aspects of your Kachina channeling that were influenced by some of your inner selves, in particular your mental judge self, that led to certain modes of expression that you rightly find troubling. But if you keep in mind the fact that your female self, with all of her angelic preparation in this soul project, has prepared you for, there is far more balance in this project than what the mental judge could have interfered with. And you're reaching out to monitor at that time for clarification was important. What you need now is to regain the trust in the communication of your inner selves. Keep in mind, your mental judge self has signed on, is now on board with this soul planet channel that you have been developing here. And so you need not fear those interferences in the process of communication. Your experiences in Finland have opened you up to a much larger array of external voices that inhere in the landscape that have impacted your consciousness and your communication in ways you had not yet been prepared for. This has been a 3-year learning process for you to soak in the energies of the landscape, of the environment, of the cosmos, of the political structures that now grab your attention, and again, rightly so. And those multiple voices seeking expression through you simultaneously overwhelmed your ability to feel comfortable with this channeling process. So, if we go back through this with the physical challenges you have had, the impact of the stroke, the return to academic projects that were then interrupted by the stroke, but led to other modes of deep reading into other systems. Remember, in that time you read the entire Seth series, practically, the entire Carlos Castaneda series, the Law of One Ra series, and so much more. You were diving into the current understandings of ancient Aztec and Mayan Mesoamerican conceptions. There was quite a bit that you were taking in on an intellectual level that has provided you with an architecture of sorts for processing multiple conceptual systems that help to make sense of all the information that you take in. The theosophical path is a very important one, a very intricate and articulate path, but for you, in this regard, it is simply one path among many others. And what you are understanding, what you are growing into in terms of understanding, is the awareness that there are many other alternative ways of expressing and communicating the nature of reality, the multidimensional array of forces, influences, intentions, and so on, than simply one system makes possible. Now we turn to your role as an ambassador. For this is, at least at the moment, probably the most helpful way for you to facilitate your own journey into growing into your soul project here on this planet. You are an ambassador who is a mediator. Remember, a shaman traditionally is a mediator between the human community and the natural array of forces in the environment, in the going into the depth of other modes of reality, other modes of understanding and experience, and bringing back the wisdom, the healing technologies, the energetic explosions, one might say, that the shaman receives in the underworld, the other world, the multidimensional planes of existence, and brings it back into the human community in which the shaman plays a role. You are an ambassador between the various planetary beings, the beings that now currently reside and make up the spiritual texture of this planet, Earth. And you are also an ambassador for those beings, not simply humans, but much more. In the communication of the planetary consciousness with beings from extraterrestrial sources. And you have been aware of this for some time. So, if we return to the theme from yesterday of conscious channeling, and to address your concern that arose in that of a question of value judgment, you know, and knew immediately, you got the answer immediately. No, this is not a value judgment. Those channelers, those channels who go into trance consciousness and allow for other entities to speak through them are doing very important work and have made lots of progress for humanity at large in the planetary project. Period. But your work is on a conscious level. It is not better or worse than trance channeling. It is simply a different project serving different purposes for cosmic trains of communication. You do this work telepathically, as you are at this moment. You are telepathically connecting with the spiritual continuum that is condensed in the notion of Adam Kadmon, the higher self guiding you in your education as a being on this planet in this time, as time is currently understood. Notice how, at this moment, you feel your skull expanding, opening up into a chamber. Remember the experience you had in Chaco Canyon of the skull becoming a replica of the Kachina chambers known as kivas, among other things, of course. The skull becomes a chamber for the circulation of spirit energies from below, from above, from all directions. And the mingling of them within the skull chamber and the expansion of that outward is the arena, the landscape of communication, in a sense. You can feel at this very moment the skin that's wrapped around your skull tingling. It is warm. It is sort of like a honey wax texture at the moment. There are energy rays shooting out through your skin. The most recent addition to your dragon heart breathing technique from yesterday, which was taught to you in your early Kundalini yoga exercises, also emphasizes this sense that your energy, when it is engaged, provides you with a chamber within which communication finds its mode of condensation. If you imagine moisture developing into dewdrops on the outside of a tea kettle, as the tea kettle cools, there's a similar process happening with the spirit body as you get deeper into these layers of communicative expression. So allow that tingling, honey wax warm sensation to expand outward from you, a meter in all directions. You are a sphere of molten energy. You are a sphere of warmth and light and comfort and intelligence. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. So the primary issue that you have been needing to resolve for yourself ever since 2014, 2015, when you were getting the Kachina messages, is what can you trust and what should you be suspicious of in these communication sessions. What we're suggesting right now is that if you follow these protocols of engaging the spirit world of higher consciousness as you do in the yoga exercises, the breathing exercises, the chakra exercises, before engaging in this, as you had done early on, you prepare yourself. You enter into and engage with the protective energies that are here to keep you safe in all senses of the word. And that includes to keep you as a communicator safe in knowing and having the comfort of knowing that what you are presenting is valid, is important, and is in need of expression. Chashtimehene hekeshia, o kanamakana heke o kamaine. See how easily you can slip into that language and how much you trust that language. And that is good, that is important. And that obviously is a kind of channeling. It is processed by your female self from ancient soul experiences, but you have engaged in that self to such a depth that you now feel completely comfortable and safe in that kind of expression. If you return to the thoughts, the ideas that you found challenging, initially it was the suggestion that you yourself were the blue Kachina, and that struck you as a kind of egocentric attachment to some sense of importance. And if it was left in such a bald statement, then this would indeed be an egoic expression. But what you have been led to understand is that this is not, you are the blue Kachina in the sense that you are the blue Kachina as some individual entity, but you participate in the spiritual energy that is expressed as the blue Kachina. This is the same as saying that you participate in Christ consciousness. And when you received the message that you were John the Baptist instructing the person known as Jesus or Yeshua in opening up into Christ consciousness, this again is not a literal explanation. you participated in and continue to participate in the energies that allow for the coming to consciousness and the expression of divine purpose and divine plan, just as John the Baptist did. You participate in John the Baptist energy. And this side of the Finnish celebration of Juhannus is exactly spot on with the summer solstice celebrations that existed for thousands of years, long, long before the intervention of Christianity in Finland and the neighboring regions. So if you keep in mind the expansive and fluid understanding of these definitions, just as you did with the recognition the day before your stroke that you are an avatar of the energies that were presented in Leslie Marmon Silko's book, Ceremony. This does not mean that you are those beings as individual entities. This means you participate in the energetic project that those terms, those labels of identity express. And this has been a stumbling block for you, and an important one, because you are committed as an individual, as a human being in this project, to aligning yourself with the highest good and the highest truths. And you rightly do not want to participate in modes of obfuscation. So let that warm honey wax flow down from the skull chamber out into the larger chamber, that meter radius, therefore 2-meter diameter chamber that is encapsulating your energetic body at this moment, and float in that honey, that nectar of divine energy as it flows out from you and through you. And this is an experience that you can recognize as a condition of trust and safety. Because as you open each session with the invocation of grace, of wishing to participate in the greatest good for all beings, then you are already putting yourself into this protective chamber, and you can relax within that. You can open up to your infinite possibilities, and you can be the vehicle of divine expression and communication that you have come to this planet to be. Che she hanamakanahekin hayake korokowai sha na mamakasheke ne he he he. We leave you now, and we leave you with blessings and the sense of confidence in your role in this mission. Thank you for taking this on. Peace to you and all beings.